Hi and welcome back, beautiful beings. My name is Judith Molnar and I work as a conversational therapist and a spiritual coach in Sweden. Today I'm going to talk about the solar flare, what it is and how it does affect the earth and humanity. And this is also a very interesting subject and good information for you to know how to reach higher dimensions, how to understand your spiritual development, and how to create the life you want to live in. At my last video, I talked about the butterfly effect. And if you haven't listened to it, I will recommend you to do it, because then you will understand how you create with your feelings, your minds, and what you're focusing on. And that we're all together creating the world that we are living in and how we can change it. A solar flare is basically a giant explosion on the surface of our sun, as you can see on the left side of the picture. This occurs when magnetic field lines from sunspot tangle and erupt. A solar flare is defined as a sudden, a rapid and intense variation of brightness. A solar flare occurs when magnetic energy that is built up on the solar atmosphere is suddenly released. Material is heated to many millions of degrees in just minutes. Any radiation is emitted across virtually the entire electromagnetic spectrum, from radio waves at the long wavelength end, through optical emission, that is colors, to X-ray at the short wavelength end, and gamma rays refers to the part of the electromagnetic spectrum. With the most energy and shortest wavelength, the amount of energy that is released is equivalent to millions of nuclear bombs. That's how strong it is. And they are exploding all at the same time. Solar flares are often occurrence when the sun is active in the years around solar maximum, and I will come back to that later. Many solar flares can occur in just one day during this period. Around solar minimum, the solar flares might occur less than once per week. Large flares are less frequent than smaller ones. Some, most stronger, solar flares can launch huge clouds of solar plasma into space, which we call coronal mass ejection, that is CME. When a coronal mass ejection arrives at Earth, because not all solar flare comes to the Earth, so we don't have to be worried, but when it does, it can cause a geomagnetic storm and intense auroral display. When geomagnetic storms collide with the Earth's magnetic field, that is, the Schumann resonance that I will come back in my next video, they have been known to create radio blackouts. And if they strike transformers directly, it can cause power blackouts. It can cause issues with our modern technology like satellites and power lines. Minor events occur about 2,000 times each solar cycle. I will come back and show pictures of the solar cycle very soon. The sun's magnetic field goes through a cycle that is called the solar cycle. And here you can see the last solar cycle that started in 2010 and was as strongest as 2040 and then get weaker to 2020. Every 11 years or so, the sun's magnetic field completely flips. This means that the sun's north and south poles switch places. Then it takes about another 11 years for the sun's north and south poles to flip back again. With solar minimum behind us in 2020, as you can see in the red circle up here, scientists expect the sun's activity to ramp up toward the next predicted maximum in July 2025. If you are interested in the solar activity, you can look at it at spaceweatherlive.com, and then you can see what the solar activity is for the day. So now it comes to the really important part for you. How does the solar flare affect humans? You may be surprised to learn that solar storms can affect your emotional health and consciousness. However, scientific studies confirm the link between solar activity and our physical and emotional well-being. Animals and humans have a magnetic field that surrounds them. I have talked about that in previous videos. Then we call it aura, the aura field that protects our body. In the same ways as the Earth's magnetic fields protect the planet. From 1948 to 1997, the Institute on North Industrial Ecology Problems in Russia found that geomagnetic activity shows 3 seasonal peaks. As you can see in here we have the first peak, here we have the second peak, and here we have the third peak. Each peak corresponds to a high incidence of anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, and other emotional disorders. The electromagnetic activity of the sun affects our electronic devices and the human electromagnetic field. We are physically, mentally, and emotionally altered by the electromagnetic charges of the sun. And our bodies can experience various emotions and changes. From a physiological point of view, the effect of CME, as I talked about before, coronal mass explosion, are usually a short duration, but there may be headaches, palpitations, mood swings, fatigue, and general malaise. Furthermore, the pineal gland in our brain is also influenced by the electromagnetic activity. which causes the production of excess melatonin, a hormone that can cause drowsiness. This hormone is really high on the night because we should sleep. We may also begin to experience bizarre physical sensations, as if there were distortions of energy flow inside the body. Hot and cold sensation of electricity, and extreme environmental sensitivity. Our inner states can be in a rapid resonance with the states of the people around us as we are energetically open. That means practical that we can feel other people's sensations, and we can have a hard time to distinguish if it's our feelings or somebody else's. The solar storms and photon waves do not only have an impact on our moods and body, the solar storms can also have a profound influence on our consciousness and bringing healing to our hidden emotions. So how does solar storms affect our consciousness? Our body has an emotional response to almost anything. And every emotional reaction in our body's response to the waves of energy. Sometimes this emotion can appear all of a sudden without any clear reason. And this may indicate that the time has come to face them. It's commonly known that hidden emotions put much stress on our internal system. It is a tremendous burden to go through life with immense emotional baggage. It can lead to addictions, health problems, depression, and unhealthy relationships. The role of the photonic energy is to connect us to our deepest wounds, repressed emotions, and desires we have ignored. This is really important, so I will say it again. The role of photonic energy is to connect us to our deepest wounds, repressed emotions, and desires we have ignored. It forces us to make drastic changes and exit the cycle in which we have indulged. The solar flare helps us to awake, to raise our vibrations. In the beginning, the reactions can be hard, like sitting on a carousel too long that goes really fast. The first symptom of this awakening is an unexplained sensation of restlessness. Most people find themselves dealing with emotional pressure they cannot understand, making them feel unease. What is going on in my life lately? What is going on in my life? What is this strange sensation that I feel inside? What is this trembling in my heart? This cry that is going to break out in any moment? This extreme sensitivity? When this occurs, it's worth taking a small break and breathe deeply. And look for a moment inside of you. Feel the inner space for a moment. If there is an undefined emotion, a warmth, a heartbeat, then you know you are not about to lose your mind. Many humans pass through the same challenges and experience these unusual states of consciousness. This is an enormous transformation of your consciousness, which from the perspective of the mind looks like a crisis. But actually, it is a transformation of who you are. It is a spiritual crisis. We discover slowly, sometimes in a painful way, our true dimension and our true nature. We are all souls that are having an earthly experience. The change does not happen only on a mental and emotional level, but it also happens in our personal lives. There will be many disruptions and changes. Feeling like everything around us is about to crash, and you will feel like you are drowning. Career, relationships with others, family life, friends are changing. It seems that the world is preparing to disappear, to make room for a new one, and this is true. Our old life dissolves because the old version of us dissolves. This is not a metaphor, but a very tough truth at times. Many of us will change our job, friends, moving, or even moving to another country where we live. It could be said that we are giving up our old personality in life to move into a new dimension. Do not be frightened by the change. Try to understand what changes you must make. When everything change everything, step by step. Nobody will be able to escape, because the solar flare affects everything and everyone. Because the solar flare helps humanity to reach the fifth dimension, the golden age. And if you don't know what the fifth dimension in the golden age is, I would recommend you to listen to my first video that is called The Big Illusion, and the second one, which is called Do You Have a Mindset of Love or Fear? To be able to reach the fifth dimension, the golden age, you need to cleanse out the wounds from the past that keep you in the third dimension. And my third video, that is called the third dimension, is all about how to raise your vibration. You can resist and wait, but then it will be much harder. Like staying in an abusive relationship, or staying with friends who exploit you, or staying in a working place that makes you sick. The longer you wait, the harder it will get. So listen to your intuition, and it will give you the best advices. You need to calm down and be in a peaceful environment to listen to your soul. You will probably not like the answer you get in the beginning, Because most humans are getting stuck in the how to make changes instead of thinking how I will feel when I'm getting there. And as you know from my previous video, the feelings and the thinking are very important to get in contact with your soul, who will give you the right directions. Most humans are stuck in security, and that makes most humans afraid of changes. But life is changing fast, which you probably already have noticed. And you have two choices. You can make conscious changes in your life that will be good for you in the long run, or life will serve you changes that can be very unpleasant, like taking care of your health or not. Humans are also affected of Schumann's resonance, which I will talk about in my next video. Because we need to understand the world is changing and we have the choice to change with it, or we will feel very bad and will not be successful in our lives. Thank you for listening to my video today. If you liked it, give me a thumb up, and if you haven't subscribed, I will recommend you to do it now, and then you won't miss my next video. So have a good time and see you soon. Bye!